are Mo and Mom. You're too loud. Sorry.
Hey,
Hello.
everyone. Welcome.
Good to see you.
We're here for another Bo and Mom ASMR style movie review.
And 3 guesses which one we're doing today. You'll never guess. Where we have a good witch and a bad witch.
There you go. Yes, you said that right. So today we're doing The Wizard of Oz, which I believe was
my all-time favorite when I was a child growing up.
That's right, one that you
We
used
had
to
to
grow
wait every year. It only came on once a year, and that was the one time a year when my mother would actually go out and buy us everything for ice cream sundaes. And I think she looked forward to it as much as we did, because for 2 hours we all left her alone. Probably the only 2 hours throughout the entire year where she had moments of peace to herself.
Any mom would appreciate that. I know you did when I was growing up. Anyways, it starts with
Another girl that is
in Kansas.
She's not really the typical teenager, though. She is good about helping her aunt and uncle. We get the impression that her parents are out of the picture, so she lives with her Auntie M and
That's
her
right.
uncle on the farm.
And it starts with her coming home.
With her little dog Toto.
That's right, from they got in trouble.
Right. It seems like Toto likes to run into a mean old lady's garden and chase her cat or something. I can't remember if Toto bit the old lady.
I think so.
But the old lady is right behind her and out for blood. She wants to have little Toto put down because she says he's a terrible
menace.
dog, a menace to society.
And so Dorothy, who is our lead actress, is already upset right off the bat. And she decides that she's not going to let them take Toto away.
She would rather run away and take Toto with her than let anything bad happen to her precious dog, which is highly understandable in my opinion. And no sooner does she run away when she runs across an old gypsy wagon with a semi-fortune teller inside.
Yeah,
and he's obviously a clever, kindly old man. And as he lets her look into the crystal ball with her eyes closed, he looks through her bag real quick and finds enough info, a picture, and describes her house and Auntie M, and convinces her to go home by saying, "What's this?" She's putting her hand over her heart. Oh, she looks like she's faint, and
she's
before
sitting
you
down.
know it, yes, Dorothy is all upset and ready to run home to Auntie M. But she gets there just as the tornado starts to hit. This was so scary for me as a child.
So in Kansas, that's pretty common. It's tornado
alley.
That's it. Yeah. So they have a tornado shelter that the family
cellar
has run off to, and they've locked the doors. So by the time Dorothy gets there, she cannot get into the cellar. She goes running into the house and gets bonked on the head.
Yes, but you know what? I was much, much older before I ever saw her get bonked on the head. To me, she went in the house, and the house magically picks up
and starts spinning. And
I had nightmares about that when I was a kid.
Our bad lady that wants to put Toto down turns into a
wicked witch is riding her bicycle, and then she becomes the wicked witch.
And the music. So it is a musical.
Yes.
And it's really well done.
It's
very
Judy Garland when she was about 13, 14 years old, I think.
She kind of wakes up, and it looks like she's still in her house, right? And
she is
goes
still in
to
her house.
Go outside, and it's going to be boring, flat Kansas, and that's when it turns from black and white.
The color bursts forth.
And a beautiful color, everything that you could imagine, and it's beautiful. There's flowers, there's trees. We see the beginning of our yellow brick road, and what is the first horrifying thing that happens?
Oh, this scared me so bad. You see the red and white stockings and the ruby slipper feet go curling up underneath the house, somebody that she landed on, and that's when Glinda comes in her bubble, the good witch of the north, and explains to her that she dropped a house on the wicked witch of the west, which she didn't mean to do.
And that was going to make somebody else upset.
Her sister, the Wicked Witch of the West.
So the ruby slippers have disappeared and have somehow magically appeared
on Dorothy's feet.
And we are told that is to protect her from the Wicked Witch of the West, who's now going to be after her. throughout our adventure.
In the meantime, though, Glinda the Good Witch convinces all of the Munchkins to come out that have been hiding in Munchkinville because they think Dorothy must be a witch to have dropped a house, be so powerful.
She's a good witch, so she's, yes. So,
but they don't know that for sure.
Well, they sing a song how they're happy to...
Once Glinda convinces them that it's okay, come on out. And then they sing those delightful, oh, it's wonderful musical.
Follow the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road.
So we had to do this a lot.
We recommend the lollipop queue.
It's like,
we recommend the lollipop queue.
And the little ballerinas.
oh, it's very well done.
Oh, I loved it.
So our Dorothy decides that she has to continue on to her quest.
Well, she wants to go home.
Yeah, and they're told...
And Glinda says, I don't have enough magic for that, but there's somebody that might. I understand there's a powerful wizard in Emerald City. And
In Oz.
In
Yep,
Oz. And
that's
if you
right.
follow the yellow brick road, it will eventually take you to Emerald City, and you can talk to the wizard. Maybe he can send you home.
So we follow the
that's
yellow brick road.
Mm-hmm. So that's what starts her quest.
Mm-hmm.
And on the way, her first friend that she meets is
The
the Scarecrow.
And we meet several friends along the way and have a couple of incidents with the Wicked Witch as well, trying to get
Yeah,
there.
she's following them.
The next one after the Scarecrow is Tin Man.
Tin Man.
And she has to help him unfreeze. He's rusted.
Oh,
He does his dance, which is a little awkward.
yes, they all
too.
do their little song and dance when they meet her.
And the Cowardly Lion, which
And
is
the
my
Cowardly Lion. Oh, goodness, I read later that the costume he was wearing weighed over 100 pounds. And the lights, and having to keep that on all day long was just, he stayed sick a lot of the time
I
from
can
heat
see.
stroke and heat exhaustion.
I heard that the makeup that they put on the Tin Man had chemicals in it.
That's
That
right.
ended
I
up
did
making
hear
him sick.
that. Yeah.
So that's why it didn't surprise me if it was made that long ago that kind of stuff was,
Well, it was the first time they'd ever endeavored to make anything this without CG.
that
you know.
large. Well, they didn't really have that much CG. If
No,
it was
there was
really
no
done
such
back in
thing
the
as
early
CG.
40s.
Yeah, I never could figure out how they made the toes curl up.
Flying monkeys.
The flying monkeys.
We have
were
flying
so
monkeys,
cool.
which are really neat.
Oh, those were so scary.
Gosh, I love the trees that defend themselves by throwing
I
apples at
forgot.
them.
Yes, they go to pick apples and trees. How would you like it if somebody came and
Oh,
picked something
that
off of you?
scared the heck out of me when I was a kid. So eventually they reach our Emerald City, and they have to get spruced up a bit before they can go see the wizard.
The horse of a different color. That
you
was
gonna-
so good. Oh,
I was going to say,
I
you're
had
going to
to do-
embarrass me about that. I knew it.
when she was little, now, I wanted her to grow up the way I did, out in the woods, and of course with lots of animals, and we had a beautiful white horse. And it was one afternoon where I kept hearing cars screeching. We were way out in the country, but cars were kept screeching in front of my house, and I could not figure out what was going on. And finally, when I went out, I realized they were driving past our house and stopping and then backing up and looking into our backyard. And when I walked around the house and looked, she had taken these awful purple berries that are actually, boy, you don't want to eat them. But I used to do Indian stuff with these berries, pokeberries.
Yeah, pokeberry.
And she had covered our white horse from head to toe
It took a lot.
with purple.
It took a lot of berries.
So we had a purple horse, and that stuff did not wash off.
Oh, she turned pink? Eventually,
But
after
she
a
stayed
while.
purple for months. And people couldn't believe they were seeing what they saw when they drove past her house. And I couldn't really get mad at her, but
Well, in the movie,
they had
have
the horse of a
a
different
horse
color.
of a different color, which of course every kid loved. It one shot it was green, then it was orange, then it would be
Blue,
purple.
purple.
So Nikki was purple for a summer, and it made us very popular with our neighbors and
Yeah.
people that drove by in
I
the
know,
middle of
it-
nowhere.
Close accidents that almost happen in front of our house.
There's not a lot of traffic, to be honest, out there, but so they get a chance. They have to kind of force their way in to see the wizard, right?
Right. Well, he
Yeah.
won't let them in. Nobody know how. And then they sit down and they discuss their plight and how badly they wanted to see him. And before you know it, our wizard, who is also, our guard, who is also the wizard. I don't know if you knew that. He played the guard and the
I
wizard.
did not know
Yes,
that.
and, Professor Marble. He's crying. He's got all these tears going down this huge, icky
It's like yes, it's just gross because it's that moist.
It just hangs all over his mouth, but it was interesting. But I'll never forget that, all the tears dripping off of him. But he feels sorry for them, so he lets them in. And they finally go get to see the wizard, which is quite terrifying. All the pyrotechnics.
It turns out to not be what it seems, correct?
Well, we find that out towards the end. But initially he scares them all to death and tells them if they can bring him the Wicked Witch of the West broomstick, then he will get them back home. He will get Dorothy back home. And one of them says, well, to get the witch's broomstick, we'll have to kill her. And he just booms, and that's when the Cowardly Lion goes scurrying out and jumps through the glass.
Oh, that's right. Yes, I love that. Well, I know that was weird, but I love the Cowardly Lion. Yes. He was just the comical relief, pretty much.
Oh, they all were comical.
So they go off to the, and I remember loving the songs.
The song, oh,
and they sneak into the castle with the guard.
And his tail kept sticking out from behind the guard
relief.
The costume.
And eventually...
Oh, but she's captured Dorothy.
That's right.
Because she captured Toto. But Toto manages to escape. And
now.
Leads them back. And she puts Dorothy in a room with a big, creepy hourglass and tells her this is how long she has to live. So as the hourglass is ticking down, our trio of heroes, well, 4 actually if you count Toto.
Toto ends up being a hero, so
trying to get back into the castle.
He definitely counts, in my point of view.
And they get up and they bash in the door and they get Dorothy and they're chasing around the terrible castle. They can't get out. And finally they get cornered. And that's when the Wicked Witch comes up and very cruelly decides to torture them a little bit. Lights her.
He's going to light the Scarecrow on
She
fire.
lights her broom on fire and lights the Scarecrow. And he's, of course, the most awful thing that he's afraid of is fire.
Stuffed with straw.
And he's having a fit, and Dorothy grabs a bucket and throws it on him, which drenches the Wicked Witch. And I love the scene. It was so creepy. I'm melting. She melts the Wicked Witch. It just...
She just disappears into smoke.
Yes.
And they are the heroes. They go back to Oz, the capital, the Emerald City.
And that's when they go in to get, because he promised the Tin Man a heart, the Cowardly Lion courage, the Scarecrow a brain,
and that she would go home.
So as they get back into the Emerald City, that's when Toto again, they're looking at all the pyrotechnics and the big Oz head. But that's when Toto goes up and pulls the curtain back, which I did not understand the political connotations of that when I was a child. It was many years later when I went, you know what, that is very, I can relate that to a lot of things in life as an adult. But
so he comes out and he's just a
normal person. And he admits that he was there because his balloon got blown off course. That he was from Kansas too, I think he said.
And that's how apparently he was going to send her home, right?
That's right, in the balloon, his balloon that he's been saving.
So he gives everybody what they want, like he did promise. He kind of apologizes for putting on a tap and dance show in front of them.
And basically it ends up being they had what they needed all along. They simply needed to believe in themselves. And he just gave them the little Freudian push
that they needed
to.
Well, right as Dorothy is about to leave,
she's saying her goodbyes.
The balloon takes off and she's not on it.
She has Toto, and he sees
off.
a cat and he jumps off, and she has to run after Toto right as the balloon is taking off. And he's going, I don't know how to control it, it's gone. And now she's lost her chance to go home. Where Glinda, yay, where's my magic wand? Glinda comes up and saves the day and says, sweetie, you've had the ability to go home all along. All you had to do was click your ruby slippers together 3 times and say there's no place like home. So she does.
And that's the premise of our movie, by the way, is that there is no place like home, or that you're familiar, I guess, with what you're used to. Because at first she was upset because she didn't want to go back there, and now that was the only thing that she wanted anymore, was to go back.
You know, we don't appreciate what we have until it's gone.
So it was to click your heels 3 times, and
there's no place like home.
She wakes up back in Kansas with her family all worried, and you start to realize that everybody that she ran into over there actually was somebody.
All of their helping hands that were there.
Kansas, and she's so happy to be back.
And you were there, and you, and you, and you.
But we never find out what happens if they actually got rid of Toto or not.
Of course, they're not going to get rid of Toto. No. It's a happily ever after ending, and Toto stays.
Of course.
And they tell the old lady in town what she can do. And where she can go.
And where she can, yes, she can take her opinions.
And how she can get there.
Good. Well, thank you for viewing our...
You know, one thing I do want to bring up, this is a little late, but in the very beginning, when Dorothy fell into the pig pen...
I don't know why I thought about that,
and
too.
Yes, he saved her. I never knew. I couldn't figure out why everybody got so upset and, get her out of the pig pen, because we had pigs. I didn't think anything of it. Only to learn years later that pigs would have eaten her.
Oh, very quickly. They'll start gnawing on things, and
yeah.
That's why you didn't want to fall in the pig pen. They freaked out when she fell in.
Yeah, it certainly made me look at that differently. So many things you don't understand when you're a kid watching this for years throughout my entire childhood. But it's a wonderful, wonderful movie. It's a family movie all the way around. And everybody needs to write in and make her sing Somewhere Over the Rainbow for us. She really does have a good voice.
Not on the internet.
At least for me, anyway. I want to hear it.
We appreciate your time.
Thank you for joining us. Hope you had
watching
fun.
A review on a movie that everybody has probably seen.
Of course.
But it is one of your favorites.
But you must see it if you haven't. And let me know if you've never seen it.
So we will see you next time, and we really appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Bye.